Hey guys, let's check this. Hi guys, happy Wednesday. So today I thought, spurred on by a discussion I had with someone yesterday about the type of businesses a client I was talking to can create. I thought that I can cover part of the discussion that I had with this lady and expand on it for the benefit of everyone. So what I very often see in fashion is that people stumble upon an idea, a product, and they launch a brand. And that's where it is, they start growing the brand without really thinking of the type of business they want to create. So while that in itself leads to a lot of different problems, which manifest themselves in later on in the brand, I thought it's quite important to perhaps explain something that you can all practically put into work now and into use now, and almost create like a little X-ray for yourself and help yourself to perhaps decide on a kind of direction you want to take forward. Because at this particular time, I've spoken on this subject before, but at this particular time, more than ever, it's really important to differentiate from your competition and to stand for something, and therefore either attract or repel customers to yourself. And those who are really attracted, they're going to be loyal customers. They're going to stay, and they're not going to run away and go to other competitors. And they are more likely also to commit to continue buying and investing in your brand and your products, etc., as opposed to perhaps, downgrading and going to buy cheaper products. So the three types of brand business that you can have within fashion, as well as, in most other industries, but it's not exactly, I'll show you examples, but it's not exactly spoken in the fashion industry. But you can have a personal brand, you can have a brand that is based on a product, and you can also have a brand that is based on a business. And you can have any combination of all these three, and you can have all three if you wanted to. So, for example, I will take Tory Burch, for example. So Tory Burch is the woman. She's also the business and the brand, and she also has a recognizable product that if you say the name Tory Burch, people very often think of her loafers, of those little shoes that she created. And that is very clever, because it means that in three different ways, she can grow her business, and she can leverage three different aspects of her business to grow the entire business as a whole. Another great example of this is Apple. So we have Apple, the business, that is supported by their best-selling line, which is the iPhone. And also, before Steve Jobs died, he was the face of the brand. So there was the personal aspect of Apple, the business, was also Steve Jobs. So again, there was, three different aspects to a business, and they were all working together to grow the business. And in fashion, this is something that happens naturally with quite a few, or it has the potential to happen naturally, as many designers create brands and give them their own name. But very, very often what happens is that the creatives behind the brand, they're quite shy, and they don't really want to be the face of the brand. So they're really missing out on a very important aspect that can contribute to the growth and sales of the actual business. So if you have a brand that has a name that is your own name, it's a perfect opportunity for you to then start growing your own personal brand, which you can leverage and contribute to the revenue of the business through writing a book of your story, how you got there, what you're doing. You can give talks, and very often once you get to a certain level of famousness, people will pay you to come and talk to their stage, especially also if you create business success. People will pay for you to go and share that success with others. So you can also create a personal brand about what you do, maybe certain activities, contributions to charity, etc. You can be often in the press and be more visible. So you become the face of the brand, but also you start building a brand around yourself, which helps the business. Now, the second part of this is a brand that is based on a product. And what I see very often is that many designers keep on creating collections, and they expand on them and throw in, whenever they're lacking sales or they want to expand the business, they think that by adding more, that would allow for more sales. But actually what they're missing and failing to recognize is that if you had a particular product that was very strong for you, or if you made yourself for a particular category of products, that will really help accelerate the growth of your business in the future. It's really important to be known for something, just like Apple is known for the iPhone. Obviously, people go there and they don't just find an Apple phone. There's accessories, there are iPads, there's computers, etc. But the Apple brand is very well known for its Apple phones, and that's probably the main driver of their revenue. Tory Burch, again, to take and stick with that example, she has the shoes, the little loafers with the big logo at the front. Those were the hot sellers for Tory Burch. If you think of her name, Tory Burch, you think of that, and then I think of the kaftans personally, because they're very synonymous with her. She now has jewelry, accessories, all kinds of types of clothing and interiors, etc. But if you say to most people Tory Burch, they would think of the loafer. So it's really important to stand for something and be recognized for a particular category or a particular product, because it doesn't stop you from having others, but it just focuses people's minds into what you're good at, and you stand out in their memory, in their minds. And finally, as a business, if you're building, a brand, that brand has to be based on some values, and we're surrounded by, there's the Gucci, Dior's, Chanel's, etc. Those brands, they have real value. That's why they're able to charge as much as they're charging. Sometimes they charge 10 times, 12 times the cost price of the product. And obviously they can justify that price because they invest a lot in marketing, in influencers, in advertising, etc. But if people weren't willing to spend on that brand and buy any product, as long as it was the real thing and it came from that with the logo of that brand name, they wouldn't have a business. So for them, it's less important who is at the helm of this brand, because they have built a brand value around the actual business, around the name of the brand. And the products are secondary and they don't have a face necessarily. So they haven't focused on that. But as small businesses, just like Tory Burch started and has achieved, as well as many others, you can have all three. And that is something that I wanted to, talk to you today and make you realize that you can have all three and make them, just like a puzzle, fit around each other and contribute and be leveraged against each other and contribute to the growth and sales of your brand if you know how to create them. So do a little mental X-ray, of your business and find out, are you willing to become the face of your brand? Even if your brand does not carry your personal name, that's okay. You can still start showing yourself more in terms of your marketing, in how you promote your brand, in how you talk about the brand and you as the founder. So you can slowly start building that personal brand, which will really help give a face to your business, which is really important, especially in this day and age where you have to differentiate and you have to make customers, your new customers, your old customers, etc., connect to you. But like I said, it can lead to a sideline stream of revenue, which why not? No one will say no to an additional stream of revenue, right? And successful businesses have more than one. They have multiple streams of revenue. So it's really important to appreciate and understand the importance of building a personal brand. If, again, I'm saying, if your brand does not carry your personal name and it's something else, that's okay. You can start putting yourself in the picture a bit more and just talking about you, your name as part of the brand, the founder, the designer, the face of the brand. And then you can build your brand value. You can talk about the values, what you stand for, and really create an aura of confidence and trust around your brand name, so that people start associating your products with, I trust it because it comes from this brand. And that just takes consistency of your message, consistency of your product, obviously the quality, and of everything that you put out has to be consistent. You can't just one day you have a bad product and you blame the factory or the supplier, etc. Next day your collection is amazing and you're confident. So you really need to make sure that you consistently on mark in terms of quality, messaging, delivery, customer service, everything. That is what how a brand is created. And it takes time and it takes a second to ruin it, right? And obviously it is crucial and really important, in my opinion and many other people, to have a product, to be recognized and stand for something. On YouTube, you can go and you will see there is a video that I have created of the importance of having a niche and knowing exactly what your niche is, especially when you're first starting out. And I created this analogy with a tree, how once you plant the seed and the tree starts growing for a certain amount of time, you need to strengthen that stalk, that tree. And that tree is the one product or category, single product category that you would have launched with, that you will keep on expanding and making money and sales through it. And only when you know that it's really working for you, you have perfected it, you have product market fit, then can you start adding additional branches and expand your business. But that remains your main stream of revenue and reputation as well. So if any of the other branches of additional categories and products that you're adding on, they fail for whatever reason, the climate changes, the trend changes, etc., it doesn't really matter. You know what, you know, the main core of your business is, what's your bread and butter, and no one can take that away from you. Or if something happens and sales dwindle, you can go back and see, what have I recently changed and done that has all of a sudden diminished my sales? And you can analyze it. But if you don't have that, and if you are just like branching out into all kinds of products, which is what most brands do, and I have heard, you know, in my opinion, the wrong advice given by consultants. Oh, you want to grow your brand, just throw everything, like all kinds of products into it. The more products you have, the more you can sell to more people. But then there's no brand value. There's like no single messaging. Then what are you standing? What are you for? What are you, a clothing or accessories brand? You know, you're diluting your whole proposition, and you'll be the first casualty of a time like this. So if you are not in that position and you don't have necessarily right now a product or a product category that you stand for, analyze your sales. Have a look at what really sells well for you up until that point. And maybe you will see straight away that there's a trend, what people buy more of, and just double down on it. Maybe that is your niche, that is your category that you can become known for, and you can strengthen it at this point of time. Because at the moment, I think less is more. I mean, we've always said about less is more and all of that, but I think now it's really about consolidating your business and hunkering down and just really making sure that you have the basics covered. You have your bread and butter working for you in terms of business niche, in terms of business products and categories. And when things start getting better, you can start expanding, but you really need to know what you are, what you stand for, who you are as a brand. And a brand is just like a person. You know, you can't be, I mean, you can never be vanilla in any environment. It's not a nice thing to be vanilla, but in times of uncertainty, like now, you really need to stand for something. You really need to differentiate yourself and know what are your values. You know, what's the face of your brand. People want to connect to people, not, you know, people buy brands and products, but they want to connect to people. So can you see how those three elements kind of work together and contribute? And like I said, you can have one, you can have two, you can have three out of the three, but do an x-ray of your brand and find out what have you got at the moment and where are you lacking or you have less of, and can you maximize on those so that you have an equal level perhaps of all three: product, business brand, and also personal brand. So I hope this helps. If anyone has any questions, as always, please hit me up. You can email me. You can find us on our platform, fashioninsiders.co. You can connect with me on Facebook and Instagram, send me a DM. Happy to answer questions. And obviously, any questions I get that are of interesting, like this discussion I had yesterday, I'll put it forward for and share with a wider base, like so that everyone can benefit from it. That's it. Happy Wednesday, and I'll see you tomorrow.